Hello again, everyone. Welcome back. In this weekend video, I'm going to talk about where the Dow, the Qs are sitting. And I wrote the title. I said, "Is that all she wrote?" Because I gotta wonder when I looked at the Dow Industrials closing above the, the 50,000 level here, and leading many of the evening news leading with that, closing above the 50,000 for the first time. You got to sit back and say, well, given what's going on with the Qs and technology and all of that, it's like, is this all she wrote? And I'm going to explain why I'm thinking that may be, but I'm really thinking for multiple months or maybe the first half of the year. So let's take a look. I'm going to go back. I'm going to go back to the Dow Diamonds, but I want to start with a side-by-side view here of the industrials, the S&P 500 and the NASDAQ 100. So the Dow was up 1,223 points here for the week, up 2.5%. And yes, it was closing above that 50,000 level. The S&P 500 was basically flat. And you can see it's really done nothing since the first week of January, where it closed at 69.66. We're down about 34 points on the close over the last 4 weeks. And it was down 673 here over the last week. And of course, the NASDAQ 100 is the weakest of the three for sure, down 476.62 this last week. Now, an interesting comparison is what are the Dow Industrials and the transports do? Look at the transports this week. It's just crazy. I mean, they were up 1,592 points. All of a sudden, they're making a gallant effort to catch up with what the Dow Industrials have been doing. This was 8.7% just this last week in the transports. All right, I want to go back to the home screen here. Here's the Dow Diamonds. I'm going to start with the Qs. So I talked about the Qs last week. I talked about the timing, which sure seems to be playing out. And we got real hard down week this week. And we broke this trend line Wednesday, Thursday. Friday, we snapped back. I did not change the trend line from when I drew this several days ago. We literally came right up to it intraday. And so, a lot of the readings, very strong breath on Friday. I think 82% of the New York volume in terms of advancing and declining issues was advancing issues. And it was even stronger on the volume. So very, very strong day, but you get those kind of days when you get snapbacks in major declines. So we'll see where we go here this coming week. Do we chop around for a little bit and then come on down? I'm still thinking that we're going after the bottom here at a minimum, the bottom of this range that I identified, talked about last week. So let's go and see, what's happening with the Dow Diamonds. They're going in a different direction. So after chopping sideways, so this is first of the year right here, January 5th, let's say, okay? Basically chopping sideways, we worked our way higher in here, up 12.12 on Friday. Let me show you the weekly picture. Up 12 for the week. So Friday basically salvaged the week. If you're up 12 something on 12.12 on Friday and up 12 for the week. So what I'm watching in here short term, a couple of things. This key trend line, if we reverse, and then this right in here at 484.39, which was pretty much a key support level. You come across the high that occurred here in November, and that's right in the middle of the range in December. And then all of a sudden that became key support, January 20th, January 30th. So now, why am I thinking, is that all she wrote? Because I'm thinking that the Qs and technology are leading us down right now. And you see a lot of the risk off playing, right? With Bitcoin and gold, silver. My gosh, silver, it's just a massacre. So here's what I'm thinking in terms of the wave count. I think there's a decent chance that what's going on here is the fifth minor wave is finished. We may be a couple of points away from the high, but the reason why I think we really can't go a whole lot more is because this pattern, since the low on November 20th, very overlappy in here. So either it's a corrective pattern or it's an ending diagonal pattern, which is what I've got it laid out as. Okay, and an ending diagonal pattern in Elliott Wave needs to be a series of zigzags. So zigzag, 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 and a final zigzag. Now, the other thing that we have to watch out for is the third wave was significantly shorter than the first wave. The third wave can never be the shortest wave. So therefore, this fifth little wave cannot be longer than the third wave. Here's where 5 equals 3, 502.52. The high on Friday, 501.67. So this is where the Elliott Wave, everybody's like, well, Elliott Wave, and then you change your wave count and this and that. Well, there's no certainty in the stock market. And I'd love anybody to show me a chart pattern that doesn't have fake outs. I mean, you have the most beautiful head and shoulders pattern, think you're getting a breakdown, and then it just reverses and heads back north. So the thing I like about the Elliott Wave is that it gives you the pattern that says, well, if it fails, if it goes above this level, then something else is going on. Okay, so you got to sit back and look at this and say, well, let's watch Monday, Tuesday. We'll see what happens. Do we take out 502.52? If we do, then something else is going on with this. And right now, it's not totally clear to me. But that's what I'm thinking has happened with the Dow Industrials, the Dow Diamonds. So we'll watch the beginning of the week. Since we're talking about the Dow Industrials, I want to show you a couple of things. Let me go back to the weekly view. Well, let's just stay with the daily. And we're talking about January of 26. We're into the 26 year, right? So the middle, kind of starting the second half of the decade. If you count year 1 as 2021, in year 10, you always count 1 to 10, right? You don't count 0 to 9. You count 1 to 10. So the 10th year of the decade is going to be 2030. So we're right now into that 6th decade and 6th year of the decade. And so what we're watching for is, are there any cycles that could kind of give us a hint at what might be going on? Let's take a look at the 20-year cycle. So here is 2006, 20 years ago. You could see we just chopped our way higher in here. This is the Dow Industrials again. And we peaked in early May at a fairly significant sell-off that gave back almost the entire rally as June, July, and then completely rallied into the end of the year. Okay, so that's the 20-year cycle. And when we take a look at the 60-year cycle, a little uglier. Okay, we peak in February, which is right where we are right now. Actually, it was kind of a January, February, almost identical type peak. And then we just sold off pretty severely all the way into October. Sell off, rally, sell off, rally, sell off, rally. And then we tried to rally a little bit into the end of the year, but that pretty ugly year, 1966. And then if we look at what happened in the Roaring 20s, in the 100-year cycle, again, we had a peak in like February and pulled back pretty strongly into March. So that was really only like a 1 month, maybe a little bit longer pullback in here. I'm just kind of ballparking dates. These are close only based on data, okay? I don't have, bar charts back into the mid-20s. And then we have a real strong rally, and then we get a big sell-off again. Now, I looked at this and I said, okay, well, if you kind of ballpark across, you're about 162. You pull back in here, 136. So it was about a 16% sell-off in here that occurred. So pretty strong decline. Now, I don't know if that's, which patterns, that we're facing, but 2 out of the 3 peaked in the beginning in January, February. I'm just saying, let's just kind of be aware of where we are and watch for this breakdown, because that could be the kind of thing that we're in for. So we'll see which cycle plays out the best. And I talk about the 20 and 60 because that seems to have been tracking into our decade fairly well, those 2060 cycle. Okay, let's go to one indicator. Let's just take a quick look at the VIX. Let me go here. See, on Friday, we had a pretty strong down because of the move that happened to the upside. Down 4.01, closing below the 10-day moving average in here. But when you look at the weekly view, the 10-week average held above the close held above the 10-week average, sitting at 17.76, up 32 cents on the week. So, it looks like it wants to keep trying to push to the upside. This was real hard down, but we've had that kind of thing. Like, look right here on February 2nd, hard down, and then it just reverses. So we'll see what happens. Right now, we're putting in higher highs and higher lows, at least coming off of January 24th. So that's the picture on the VIX. And let's take a look at macro sectors. So I look at the real estate sector every week, at the end of the week anyway. And you could see we had a nice move up $1.45 here on U.S. real estate. Now, still it's hard to get too excited about this unless you break above, say, 98.5, get above all of these highs that are in here. It's been kind of just clustering and chopping sideways for the last 7 months. Banks, very strong, up 384 here on the S&P Bank Index, okay? And then look at the home builders. This, of the 16 industry sectors I look at in my ETF dashboard every week, this was the star of the week, up $7.21. Huge move, and I'm talking about percentage-wise. Big move in here. So really watching this trend line to see, are we going to make a run for the top of this range? And again, this is weekly. And so I've been watching this range to see, is the home industry going to kind of give us a key as to whether it's done and the whole cycle's over, or are we going to take out and go to new highs and say, no, the cycle's still on? So that's where we sit with those macros. And then the last thing, let's just take a quick look at, is the semis. It didn't do too much this last week. SMH was down $1.81, although it did come back from the lows, no doubt. And the SOX index was up slightly at 221. So a little bit of a sideways pause in here. Again, the week of January 11th, the last 3 weeks, the semis are up a whopping about $1.30 or so over the last 3 weeks. So haven't done a whole lot. We are getting significant divergence in here, so we'll see where they play out. And again, if the Qs keep coming down hard and XLK and all the technology, these are going to go with it. So we'll see what happens. Okay, that's it for this weekend. If you felt like the video was helpful, give it a thumbs up. If you're not a subscriber to the channel, hit that little subscriber button. And if you'd like more of this information on a regular basis, head on over to joehenches.net. Everyone have a great week. We'll talk to you on the next video.